At least 9 months left, perhaps as much as 18.
The first doctor gave me from 1 to 2 years.
I hope he's right. What are you going to do?
Well, I have no family. Haven't taken a day off since law school. Guess I'll try to squeeze 30 years of living into 1 or 2.
You didn't hopeless, Mr. Bryan. Research is being done, and you'll be in good health until the last few weeks. So always let us know where you are.
Downstairs to meet you, but I was up on the high slope and I lost all track of time.
The only thing to do with time.
I have to talk to you alone.
All right.
Charming, isn't it?
Sure is.
Tipping is verboten here at Montanaro. The very, very rich never carry money, much less coin.
Like the very, very poor.
Paul, I don't know quite how to say this.
Now, Laura, remember me? Only a week ago?
Yes.
Remember this?
Yes, I remember that I liked it. And I still do.
So what could be the problem?
You know why Daddy invited you here, don't you?
I invited myself. When I was a kid in California, sliding down Mount Shasta on barrel staves, I used to hear about Montanaro. The world's most exclusive ski resort. Only a dozen guests tolerated at any one time. The place I always wanted to see. I happened to mention that to your father.
Well, he wasn't just being gracious. He wants me to find a man, someone nice and dependable and permanent. In fact, he and Mother are so afraid I'm about to go bonkers that they're going to find him for me.
And they haven't.
Oh, yes, they have. I think it's you.
Laura, I swear to you, I'm going to die a bachelor.
Not you, Paul. But I mean to pick my own husband. I mean to make my own mistakes. Somewhere between the cradle and the grave, everyone has to make the scene alone. Would you buy that?
I already have. Now relax, will you?
I just didn't want you to misunderstand.
I never did. Why don't we ski a little?
How about in 10 minutes?
Oh, that's a very long time.
9 minutes. And thank you, Paul. You're nice.
And undependable and impermanent.
Do you think it could be serious enough for me to close down? I know, but it's heavier than I've ever seen it. All right, I'll let you know. Goodbye.
Trouble, Mr. Hill?
Oh, it's nothing. Just checking the weather. Nothing to be concerned about.
What a shame. For a minute, I thought something marvelously dreadful was going to happen.
Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Do you suppose the weather ever really does get nasty around here?
At Montanaro? It wouldn't dare.
Try that, are you?
I have to.
How good are you?
I don't know. That's why I have to.
There we go.
Thank you, Mr. Beaumont.
Don't ever do it again.
Oh, he has to do it again. Any novice who tries a thing like that once has to be crazy enough to try it again.
Now, don't be so sure. There's a saying in Japan, every man must climb Fujiyama once, but fools have to climb it twice.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the train. There's no other way to get you. Somebody must arrange a special run. It could only be the general.
General who?
Carlos Portas. Bienvenido, General. Tuvo un buen viaje.
Sí, muy bien, gracias.
¿Quisiera encontrar a los otros?
No, gracias. Estoy cansado.
I didn't dream he was that young.
Hi, Mother. Dad.
Did you? I mean, to be the dictator of a country and...
He wasn't the dictator. It was his father-in-law. Portas was just the hatchet man.
After the old man was assassinated, he was top dog for a while. Exactly 63 days.
Oh, my people down there tell me there's a move on to put him in the driver's seat again.
Maybe they want their money back.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Ah, good morning.
What, you?
Good morning. Yeah. Die Gleise sind vollkommen verschüttet.
There's nothing to be alarmed about. We have experienced an avalanche and are to some extent cut off.
To what extent?
Well, quite completely, I'm afraid. The rail path is closed. But the authorities will start clearing it as soon as possible.
Anything we can do to leave here?
There's really nothing we can do but wait.
Is there any chance we'll never get out of here?
No, I'm sure it's not that serious. No, not at all. Well, it hasn't been used for some time. But I assure you there's nothing to worry about. This chateau is quite safe, and we are very well supplied. Of course, the chairlift is gone, but that is an act of God.
What does he mean, an act of God?
Probably quoting an appropriate line from his insurance policy.
Switch to the generator, will you? We have an oil-burning generator. There will be electricity.
Mr. Hill, are we or are we not trapped?
It's nothing, General. There's really nothing to fear.
No, I'm not a man of fears, nor a sightseeing turista. It is important that I retain communications with the outside world.
I'm sorry, but...
There is no radio, no telephone, no train, no road. Is that true?
I'm sorry. Yes.
How could you boys let a thing like this happen?
I was watching you when it happened. Very cool. Matter of fact, you're quite a cool client, Mr. Bryan.
Well, why not? Maybe all we have to lose is time.
You make it sound like money. Come to think of it, according to my father, God rest his soul, it was the same thing.
Well, if he were right, he'd still be with us, wouldn't he?
It's midnight. I suggest we all turn in. It hasn't exactly been a normal day.
I think I need a nightcap.
Or a dunce cap.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night.
What do you do with parents?
You lose them, sooner or later.
Yes. We seldom realize that about them, do we? Or about ourselves, come to think of it. You know, for a minute today, I thought I'd had it and I wasn't ready. But the gods are kind, aren't they, Paul? They never tell anybody when.
The gods are very kind.
I mean, about life and death. You have to change the words to love and danger and pretend you're immortal.
Pretend? Now, don't you believe you're going to live forever?
Of course. Don't we have to?
It helps.
You know, I wish they hadn't decided on you as marriage material. Kind of upsets things. Isn't that, Paul?
Bonjour, Monsieur Bryan.
Morning. Thank you. How are you this morning?
Feel like the walls are closing in.
Maybe they are. Everybody's a little edgy.
Except you. You know, I don't really know you at all. I was thinking about it last night after I left you. I decided you didn't belong here at all. But here you are.
Where should I be?
Somewhere doing something well. Maybe even something important.
Well, you show me how to get out of here, and I will.
Morning.
What do you know about it?
Not much. But at least I understand him, and I find him charming. That's enough, isn't it?
I don't think so. There's a resort in the Bahamas where he likes to stay. He has a house with high walls and a casino nearby. He's addicted to three things: power, gambling, and women, in that order.
You're sure of the order?
I'm sure. The house has 2 gates, and men stand there 24 hours a day with M1 rifles.
Did my father ask you to tell me all this?
No, I should.
Carlos has invited me to that island, and I've decided to go.
Do you know anything about this man? How corrupt he is?
Why do you hate him so? And why do you know so much about him?
I had a teacher. His name was Juan Del Real. He was also a friend. He was old. He was a scholar. When he wasn't teaching law, he was writing about your friend Carlos' father-in-law. You see, he came from that country, and he knew how much poverty and disease and debt it costs to make a dictator. And then one day, Del Real vanished. He left my apartment in San Francisco. He vanished. Nobody ever found him. I know because I looked. But I found out what happened to him. They took him back to his own country, and they killed him.
What does that have to do with Carlos?
Carlos Portas killed him.
Did somebody prove that?
Not in the court of law.
Then that just proves that you despise him. But don't hate him for some old man. Hate him for yourself.
I will.
We're getting drunk.
Delicious. Here you are.
Hey, Major Del Rio. We decided to keep it at 55 degrees.
General Portas is cold.
We all cold. We decided that it was better than being warm now and freezing to death later.
Who decided this, senor?
So we had a meeting. His lordship was invited, but he didn't show up. I figured that democratic activities probably made him nervous.
Where were you?
Protecting you, my dear.
Mr. Bryan, you may adjust the mechanism.
I already did.
You will forgive me for not attending the meeting, for ignoring our mutual jeopardy. My friends, we are upset and uncertain, and therefore tense and uneasy. I have a suggestion for the gentlemen. I suggest we play poker.
I'll buy that.
Start dealing. Serve everybody.
C'est l'occasion formidable, je dois jouer. N'aie pas peur, hein?
What are you going to use for money? They could ante more than you won't.
As long as I have you, my dear.
Your Honor, I'd like to suggest a different game. A game that's fair to one and all. Dictators and peons alike.
What makes it fairer than poker?
You don't bet against each other, just against the pot. No bluffs. No power plays.
I'll play anything. I played jacks once for a herd of cattle.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid there are laws against gambling.
When you get a law against avalanches, come back and see it. Huh?
It's a simple game, really. Each man writes a check for $1,000, which he places in the pot. That's the smallest amount you can bet, and you always have to bet.
1,000?
What's the matter? Too high for you?
Oh, considering our present circumstances, no. Mr. Hiltz, bring us some blank checks.
And you, Your Grace.
Just explain it.
Each man gets 4 cards. All he has to do to win is beat a 5th card, which he hasn't seen.
How much can we bet?
The size of the pot, or the minimum, 1,000. You look at your 4 cards and you ask yourself, what chance do I have of beating the next card turned up? And you have to beat it in the same suit. I'll show you what I mean. I deal myself a hand.
Fork out.
That's right. I bet $1,000, and I lose. That's all there is to it.
Should we give it a whirl?
Fine.
All right, let's deal.
Do I have to bet 1,000 on this batch of losers?
You beat the 9 of hearts?
You're right, it is simple.
You know, I remember this game. Montana Red Dog. It's a real bone breaker.
Right.
I'll try, 2,000 on these little fellas. And I made it.
There you go.
Boy, bring me a pad. This is going to take some bookkeeping.
$1,000. No good.
I bet 1,000.
General?
How much is in the pot?
29,000.
I'll wager 15,000 on these.
Now, this game could kill every cow in Texas.
How much is in the pot now?
160,000. 2,000.
Gentlemen, I think I better consult with my associate. What do you think?
I like it.
10,000?
If you like something, bet on it.
50,000 francs on this single card.
The odds are all on his side. He should bet the size of the pot.
15,000.
Eric's getting old.
Wait.
Well, gentlemen, I think I'll call it an evening.
I think you got a good idea there, Sam. We can leave the checks in the safe.
We shall continue in the morning.
Your Excellency. Of course.
Mr. Hiltz, I'll write one big one for my stack there, huh?
Yes, I'll do the same.
Combien tu perds?
Avec un peu de chance, je vais tout regagner.
Tu parles comme quelqu'un que je ne connais pas.
4 cartes. 4 bonnes cartes. Et nous allons avoir 1 million de francs. 1 million de francs.
Mr. Bryan, I like that game. But tomorrow I will show you how it should be played. With imagination, that is, and style.
And money.
I'd like to break that man.
Why?
Why? Because he wants to break me. But tomorrow I may break them all.
Expensive beer. I'm averaging about 1,000 a mug.
Monsieur Manet, c'est à vous.
250,000 francs.
Louis!
Tranquille.
Sure you want to go that high?
I have put 250,000 francs in the pot, Mr. Bryan. That is the amount I am betting. Cards, please. Excuse me, gentlemen. I will be leaving the game now.
Good night.
Minimum.
How much is in the pot?
480,000.
That is my wager. The size of the pot. And I lose.
Well, I suggest we close down for the night. I'm beginning to forget just how much $1 million comes to.
If that train does get through, we can all finish the game in a sanitarium.
It helps. Do you mind if I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Why that game? Why didn't you just sit down and play a little friendly poker? You're no gambler, are you?
Not with cards.
You're gambling something else. The general? Is that why you steered him into this bank buster? Well, you already know I don't like him. Laura still says she's going with him. She's never done anything like that before. Would you like to bust him because of Laura?
That's a pretty good reason. I like her. I like you.
But there's something more to it. Something between him and you. Or is it any of my business?
It's everybody's business. Not just him and me. Ortaz and me and an old friend who died in one of his prison cells. Yes, I'd like to bust him. Or rather, I'd like to arrange to let him bust himself.
How do you mean?
Well, you called it. A bone breaker. In a game like this, a man like Portaz won't only hang himself, he'll supply the rope.
I've seen it happen. You picked a mean game. Too rich for a bad gambler or a weak man. But are you sure Portaz is either one of those?
I'm betting on it.
I hope you're right. Good night.
$1,000. I'm consistent.
The usual, 1,000.
I would have bet that hand. Everything there.
Like I said, Your Excellency, it's a matter of courage.
How much is in the pot?
Just over $1.5 million.
And $1.5 million is my wager. Deal it.
I'm sorry, I can't turn a card for that much money.
Ah.
I can.
Your pleasure, Mr. Bryan.
And I thought I was a high roller.
You can be now, senora.
Your deal.
Rum, 1 ounce.
Yes, sir. This is getting like some kind of nightmare. You have to stop it.
I intend to. Perhaps with the next hand.
I don't believe it.
I bet the minimum.
How much is in the pot?
Well, just what your last bet made it. $3 million and change.
Then I bet $3 million.
You using a system? Figure if you double your bet each time, you can't lose?
There's no limit, so it's a workable idea, no?
No. Because it's mostly your money.
Would you like to turn the card again, Mr. Bryan? You have a way of beating me.
Up at the minimum. I win.
I'll go for 100,000.
Margot.
Stop my brain. Flip the card.
Margot, you
Take
really...
some smelling salts. I happen to have had a good hand.
$6 million in there? Give or take a peso. Oh, you're crazy.
Paul. I bet the size of the pot. Card.
Momento. How do we know you have that much money?
How do we know you have?
The whole world knows that. But if your check is not good, then this hand is not valid.
I won't write a check that'll bounce. Card.
And couldn't lose. He couldn't lose.
That is not the point. If a man makes such a bet, he must have the money to back it up. Is that not fair? Is that not just? Gentlemen, I ask you.
And I'll answer you. Mr. Beaumont can hold all the checks until mine is verified. Now, how's that? Fair? Just?
Hallo. Nein, alles ist in Ordnung. Wie lange wird's dauern? Ich danke Ihnen. Being clear. How long will they take to get here? Perhaps a day, perhaps 2. Or a week. Oh, no, probably by tomorrow. Oh,
That's so fine. I'm running out of sweaters.
Passport just came through.
And yours?
Still going to his island with him?
Why not? Because he lost a few million to you? Because he lost more than all of you put together? To him, it's just a pastime, a game.
I thought you were a conservative, responsible type, such as my daughter.
You saw the hand.
It cost me 50 grand. Buy me a drink. Well, you played him like a real champion. A 9-pound test line hooked to a record breaker. Real style. But did you accomplish what you wanted?
I don't know. Maybe I lost. Just don't know. Your prominence. I didn't recognize you without your bodyguards.
You cannot cash those checks.
Why? Will they bounce?
I intend to stop payment. But they are gambling checks, therefore they are not collectible. There's nothing you can do.
Except talk. Except tell it to the world. And you don't want that, or you would have brought your gun bearers along. It'll make quite a story. Only cost a few $1 million.
No. It can cost you more than that.
What? My life?
What price do you place on that? On your life?
I can tell you a place where I could hardly give it away. You don't have 100 million.
No. Not even 6 million. That is why I cannot afford to have you try to cash those checks. Nor can I have it known that I stopped payment for such a miserable sum. There is more at stake than money. Money is only the symbol, the means. There is a movement in my country to return me to power. The belief that I possess great wealth influences that movement. That is why if you say one word, I will have to treat you as I would any lethal political enemy.
Kill me?
Exactly. Kill you. Oh, here, I'm not a fool. But at a place and time carefully chosen.
You get pretty good results that way?
The best. Always. My country is suffering. In turmoil at this very moment.
People trying to get the country back from your former buddies?
I am no commonplace man facing a commonplace choice. I am obligated to think in terms of history, not in terms of one human life.
Please, no more threats, huh?
I'm trying to make you understand. History requires your silence. History is what gives me the right to kill you. You understand that, and you will make no serious mistakes.
All right. You said what you came to say.
Where did you learn to live so recklessly?
It's a long, sad story. But now we've said it all.
Here in this place, you showed me a game with cards and money, and I lost. But now it's a game of life and death I'm dealing to you. Have you played that game?
I played it. I even lost it.
It's a game I play well.
I know.
And I never bluff in it, whoever I play.
He's an old man walking down peaceful streets.
So we do understand each other.
You sure we understand each other?
Think it over, and you will be silent. We have an old saying, the fear of death is common to all men.
Except dead men.
That's supposed to have a meaning. What?
Think it over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the train will be here directly. I want to say how sorry I am about everything, but also to say that the chairlift will be repaired in a few weeks, and you're all invited to return here for a week as my guest.
Oh.
Mr. Hill, I'd like to make a speech, too, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
I think I have something interesting to say, too. Mr. Beaumont, may I have my checks, please?
Oh, of course.
Thank you. I wanted to tell you that the general was right. And about a matter of ethics. It's not fair for a man to make a bet without having the money to cover it. I don't have $6 million, or even the tax on it. I wanted you all to know that. Oh, there's something else. I had a visitor last night. The general came to my room, uninvited, to let me know that... Say no more. Mr. Portage came to see me. As I was saying, his makeshift came to see me last night. To tell me he was going to stop payment on his checks. For the very good reason, he doesn't have enough millions to cover the checks he wrote. Not that that's disgraceful in itself, but it does expose him for a little bit of what he is. Among other things, a public liar, a fake. You feel like denying him, Mr. Portage? If you do, I'd be very happy to cash these checks.
I was the high roller.
Ladies and gentlemen, the train is here.
Friend, I owe you something. I'll try to figure out what. Thank you.
See you on the train, Paul.
Paul, a long time ago before the cataclysm, you said you were going to die a bachelor. Did you mean it?
Only because it's true.
Well, if you ever change your mind, remember me, huh?
I'll never forget you.
Promise?
I promise. You'll be the first to know.
Where do you go from here?
A place where there's no time to remember the past or think about the future.
Where?
I'll let you know when I find it.
I'm never going to see you again, am I?
Oh, why not? We still have a free week at the world's most exclusive ski resort. How about next August, when there's not a patch of snow in sight?
Tomorrow afternoon at 3, Paul Bryan takes over the testing of an experimental car and narrowly escapes death on Run for Your Life. Catch the action now as another exciting roller games match comes your way next.